shoot the shit anyways. Yeah, I took a 2 hour nap today. Freaking and I set my alarm clock. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get up in like 45 minutes tops. Usually it takes me 15 minutes to nap because you want to
Yeah.
take a nap, but sometimes the nap doesn't want to take you. You know what I mean? It
Yep,
it
that
gives
was
you
me
some time.
yesterday.
And if I set an alarm clock and it's only like a half hour, in my mind, I'm like, fuck it, I can't do this. It's too much pressure to fall asleep and actually get it in a half hour. So I need at least 45 minutes on the clock. I set for 45 minutes Tuesday. Britt, why the shit did I make it Tuesday? It's not Tuesday, Britt. It's Sunday,
No,
right? So I wake
thriving.
I I wake up. It's freaking nighttime, and I'm like, "What the shit? I lost my day. Why is it dark outside?" And I look at my clock. I'm like, "Holy, 2 hours gone by." I'm like, "Frig, man! I set the alarm for the wrong day. Lost 2 hours. I shit you not." So the gym I go to, don't ask me why, closes at 7 p.m.
What?
on Saturday, Sundays. I know it's so dumb.
Okay.
But like what the frick? But so I show up. I'm like behind on everything now. I show up and I like within 20 minutes for closing. I'm like, oh yeah, frig, it's almost 7. Like I'm off. I'm just off now. It like threw off my
Yes.
day. I literally showed up and did like traps and calves. Like who shows up does traps and calves? People are probably like, bro, why'd you show up for that?
Here you go, okay, man?
Yeah, like where are you gonna get doing that? That was your workout you planned today? Like nobody's ever done that. That's such a random two body part to do. All right, I'm all good. Thanks, guys. See you later. But
See ya.
oh, random. Anyways, how about yourself, man? I seen the 300.5 kilo squat you just posted. Obviously I reposted. Holy smokes, Britt. You are crushing right now.
Yeah, we're doing all right, Ryan.
No, doing all right. Is this I mean, usually um tracking you for scouting, you will be, and you've said in the past, more submaximal in terms of like, okay, you're not going to be able to base it. Like, I know what you do in the gym, and then you're going to be adding tons of kilos onto the platform. Some people, it's the reverse. You see
Yeah.
some crazy shit in the gym, and you're like, all right, well, I'll take off 20 kilos when the day comes. You're the opposite. So I'm not trying to ratchet up the expectations or nothing or pressure, but you are crushing it right now in the gym. I've seen this from you before, and you have a stellar performance. You don't got to get into details or nothing, but how are you feeling for the Sheffield? Is this just like a great prep for you? You're injury free? Like what's going on here?
Yeah, it's been honestly probably the best prep I've ever had and the strongest I've ever been. Like I had mentioned earlier, it kind of depends what the day brings for me because I never really know
Mm.
how I'm gonna fare, like mentally. So we'll see if that translates to the platform. But yeah, I think my submaximal training days are kind of behind me, and I'm at the point where I have to actually push in training now. So I think those numbers are a lot closer to what you would expect on the platform, but you never know.
Is it because like that's interesting? Because some people, I remember Sam Calhoun um, at one point had listed all of her training numbers and said, I want people to see because everyone's different. And she put, this is what my maxes were in the gym, and this is what my gym lifts or what my lifts were on the platform. And there was a huge discrepancy. And she was saying how not everybody is going to be like some people's they're better off going submaximal. But are you finding and previously, I mean, you had massive totals, massive lifts, so that's what was working. But so what do you think has stimulated this change for you? That you be reaching further, deeper in the RPE pocket, so to speak.
I don't know that I'm honestly necessarily reaching deeper in the pocket. I think my threshold has just gotten higher and my work capacity's
Mm,
gotten higher. So, like, I wouldn't say, honestly, like the 300 kilo squat moved better than I anticipated it moving. But that one was kind of out of pocket with the rest of my training because I just needed it mentally. I needed to know, like, this number's done, checked off, we can move on now. Because it had become this like big scary thing after being on my meat card time and time again and never hitting it, never having the
yeah,
opportunity to hit it. So I just needed that win and had a conversation with Bryce, my coach, last night because he had load capped me at 295. And I was like, Look here, I either need you to explicitly tell me you are not allowed to hit this, or I'm going to do it.
Fair enough. Everybody can relate to, like, there's something about some of those freaking round numbers where you're
Yeah.
like, I need to handle this. I need to call this bully out to the yard and we need to sort this. I'm not letting it hanging over my head all day. And I know what you mean where, I mean, do you want to do that on the platform or do you want to handle that in the gym, get a taste for it? And it moved well. To your point, like
Mhm.
this, there was absolutely no reason why you're not loading that. Like that's, but to have 295, yeah, that's going to elicit that question. And what was he like? Was he at all? Was like, God, load it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I trust you. We've built this relationship. You know what you're doing. You know your body better than anybody else. I'm 100% in your corner, no matter what decision you make. So just feel it out. And if it's there, send it.
Yeah. And it was obviously there.
Yeah, it was.
It moved well. Um, in terms, how much does it mean to you? Well, first off, so you were saying like like Sheffield, it's a pressure cooker situation,
Yeah,
but you've done Sheffield before, and you've actually been at the world stage for years now. I mean, time is flying. You won your first title back in 2021. That's half
yeah.
a decade ago. However, it's always going to
Do
be
we have to
pressure
put
that
it that way? Holy.
you're exactly you're an OG now. That's how quickly things move. Um, but does it still does is there still pressure when you show up to these events? Like, does it get easier, or is it more you feel the pressure, but you're used to feeling the pressure? It's is it different? Is it I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I think it really, really depends on each situation. Like it's very different. Like Worlds this year in Germany, no pressure at all. I felt totally confident, all at ease. Sheffield last year I was a disaster. Just like cried 90% of the meet. World Games was rough, but I was super, super burnt out at that point. I think it just depends on the meet. Like two Sheffield ago, I was pretty confident, like one of the most confident I've been. But I mean, I obviously always have meet day nerves, but yeah, it
Mm,
depends on the competition, whether or not I'm feeling good, feeling not. And I I'm confident in my training, but I'm still very nervous for the Sheffield.
mm. And is it a nervousness um, to let yourself down, to let supporters down, or like where do you think the nervousness comes from?
Yeah, I think letting myself down, underperforming. I'm my own worst critic, and even like a slightly off day, like I'm pretty hard on myself. So I think it just boils down to that because I know everyone in my support system. Like I could go and bomb out, make history, be the first one to bomb out of Sheffield, and they would still be proud of me.
One way to make history. You
Exactly.
afterwards, you're like, I mean, I'm the first, so you'll never
Yeah.
forget that.
You'll
Like,
never forget that, right? No, knock on wood, not the case, but that's
right,
one
right.
way.
I know it. And is it so? Does the pressure that other people? We'll put it this way: when we were talking in the DMs, you were like, "Look, let's do this, but let's get it out the way because I don't like doing these things. No offense to you." And I can appreciate the fact that like it's out of your comfort zone, and
Yeah.
but you're going out of your comfort zone because you know there's people around the world in our community that want to hear from you and are like fans and support you. And you're doing this for them, not for yourself. Some people will come on a platform and be like, oh, like, this will be good for me. And you are like, look, I'm uncomfortable doing these kind of things. I do it for other people because they want to hear from me. And I appreciate that. So you step up and do it, which I appreciate, by the way. Thank you. And everyone else does
Yes.
too. But is it that too, where you're like, it's one thing if you let yourself down, but do you put pressure that there are people that are watching that, want you to succeed and you don't want to let them down as well? Or does that not necessarily factor as much into it?
Well, first of all, I'm doing this podcast for Pete Spence and Pete Spence only. Um, no.
That's the obligatory SBD.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to thank my sponsors. And I want,
Yeah, first I'll think, yeah, no, no, I know there are a lot of people that do enjoy and get benefit from listening to the things I have to say. And I think it's really important to continue to promote the growth of our sport and our weight class specifically for the 84 plus women.
Mm.
And the representation is hugely important. So yeah, that's like a huge contributing factor as to why I do these things when I'm very uncomfortable doing them. But I don't know that I'm necessarily afraid of letting down any of those people when it comes to competing, because I know those people are proud of me no matter what. The majority of people, like obviously you're gonna have your random people that are like, oh, she was such a disappointment, but it is what it is.
Mm.
Um, it's gonna come with the position, but yeah, I know just being present in the space makes people proud, and that's super helpful for me.
And also, it's got to alleviate something that you've already achieved so much. Like it's at no point could you look back at your career and be like, wow, that was a disappointment. Like you're a multiple time world champion now, multiple time world record breaker, had all these experiences. At this point, I mean, if you had an off day, that's what it would be, is only an off day. Whereas someone else, when you were on the come up, like 2021, when you're trying to win worlds, it's more like I got to prove myself. I haven't made that resume yet. I'm still carving it out. If it all stopped with just what I accomplished right now, I haven't accomplished it all yet. But now on the other side of it, it's got to alleviate a little bit of that, where it's like, okay, look, you're a proven success. You've won multiple gold medals for Canada, and you've done your damn thing. And in terms of what you said, representation for the 84 plus, it's never been better. And this is actually from help with a supporting cast. Like, how much does it matter? How much does it mean to you to have like Sonita? Because the fact that you guys have gone back and forth with your years, and she has a phenomenal story herself. She's a great supporting cast member for this story that you guys are writing into history. Where she, like her 2024 was phenomenal. She when she won worlds, had a fantastic Sheffield, but your 2023 was phenomenal. That freaking battle that literally blew up Eurosport, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we didn't know powerlifting could be this entertaining." And all of us on the media team were like, "Oh hell yeah, the girls! Thank God that happened the way it did. We couldn't have scripted it better." From you you coming in, obviously like 662, and then before that was 632, and you were making 30-kilo jumps to 693. Like you came in, but you had established people like Bonica, and you had controversy with that. You had everything from a perceived underdog to the someone bombing out to world records getting volleyed around all over the freaking place to like it was nuts. Like it was better than anyone could have anticipated. And then afterwards, everyone was like a huge high from it. Um, but yeah, you've been there actually. So how much does it mean to you to have someone like Sonita to be helping carry this? Because previously your predecessor in Bonica did not have that. There was her, and then there's a massive spread. And for sports, that doesn't help for viewership when you already know who's going to win
Yeah.
before it even takes place.
For sure. I think it's super cool having Sunita there. And I think it's really important because, like we chatted about, like you can't always be on, but somebody's always going to be on. And some
Mm.
days she has her days, some days I have my days, some days we both have our days. And it just
Yeah.
is the best battles you can ever have. And that's
Yeah.
what I live for, is when we're both on, because that's scary. That total is scary.
That's well put. Where you're like, some days she's got her days, some days I got mine, and some days those days align. And
Yeah.
that's when what of those battles, which one do you think was the one where what was the best battle to you?
Um, I still think my favorite battle was Malta, just because I was totally clueless and it was the least pressure that I felt. Whereas now I'm like more conscious of where I'm standing and where she's standing, and oh, she missed this, or I missed this, or I can't afford to miss this because she didn't miss that. Like it's so much more in my head. So the Malta battle is really fun. But then like I had an absolute shit day in Lithuania, and then she had some tough calls in Germany. So it's just who has their day, which way it sways.
Mm. But Malta's probably the battle that stands out. Like I'm telling you, it was so crazy. And those the people at Eurosport couldn't were so happy. Everybody was like, "Yeah, we got one there." It definitely stands out, and it was like it was the coming of age for the 84 plus category as well.
Yeah. And I think that was another reason why it's really important to me because it kind of broke open to the world like, oh, this is something to watch. And we've continued to make it a reason to watch year after year.
What do you think? So, if that was the best battle, and it might be the same answer, but what do you think was your proudest moment?
Proudest moment. Man, you know I'm bad at this shit. Um, I think, yeah, I would say probably winning Malta just because there was a lot to overcome and I was like very, very unwell that day and still managed to put on a good performance. So I think that was the first moment where I've like finally been like, oh, maybe I'm all right at this.
Because, well, I mean, really, was it then that you thought that that's like the super high bar? You have to win the world
Yeah.
championship. That's that's a pretty stiff high bar. The thing is,
Like
so
I
I
said, I'm
remember,
very hard on myself.
yeah, that's a high standard. That's a high standard. But because you won in 2021,
Mhm.
and it was, and I remember at that point in time, only not everyone had gone to Worlds. Bonica famously didn't go, and um, she let everybody know. And then in 2023, that's where it's like, okay, there's going to be no excuses, huh? We're all here,
Yeah,
and that's why it was. If this was a freaking movie, only it could only be it would be like it'd have to be a multiple series movie because you and Sonita what you guys are doing it would beg encore, but it was the perfect setup. We're all here. There's going to be no excuses now. And the fact that you rose to that occasion, the battle was sensational, but 100%, like off the top of my head, I would say that would be the proudest moment for myself because of all who was in the house and you stepping up to and your progression. What stimulated that? Because you went from 607 to freaking 693 and you were doing 30-kilo jumps. Like 607 is 2021, then you're 630s, 660s to 690s, and now we're freaking like you've made massive gains in this time period relatively quickly. A year
yeah,
is some people die for 30 kilos in a year.
yeah. I would die for 30 kilos in a year now. Hell.
Yeah, you do that now.
um, I think I just finally, got a coach that I really, really meshed with, and he helped me rise to my potential. He saw a lot of potential in me that I couldn't see in myself, and he found a system that worked for me. It wasn't overcooking me. It wasn't, I don't know, like making me push limits that my body couldn't physically handle yet. We slowly built up that work capacity and my body started adapting. And as that has changed over time, so has my program.
Do you think like how would your history and your story be different if Sunita wasn't around? You ever think about that?
I do. Not just Anita even, but like Natalie and a bunch of the other like rising 84 pluses. Like they've just shown what's possible. Like before Sonita, a 300-kilo squat wasn't a feasible thing. Like I never would have been like, oh, I'm going to squat 300 one day. It took her
Mm.
being like, oh, I can squat 300 to be like, oh, shit, maybe I could do that. And then like Natalie being damn good at deadlifts, it's like, oh, she's made the bar higher. That means I can push the bar higher. So
Mm.
it's been really cool having the girls around with me. And I'm gonna miss Natalie, but I'm so happy for her. But yeah, I
I
think
want to talk about that in a minute, but yeah, so I keep going.
yeah, it's interesting. Like I think we make a really good duo in pushing each other for sure.
Because it's like sports teaches you that competition and someone there pushing you is not a bad thing. Like it
Mhm.
feels stressful, but even stress isn't always a bad thing. There is bad stress, but certain levels of it is okay. Competition is okay. Like when if Sunita wasn't around, you wouldn't feel the same pressure in terms of I'm well, don't let me speak for you. Let me know how you feel about it. But would you be training as hard? Would you be as amped and up? Would these victories mean as much if Sonita wasn't in the picture and you knew Sonita Muluh wasn't showing up on that platform to battle you each and every time?
I think she really taught me how to push hard and work hard. But now that I've had a taste of it, I don't know that even if she didn't show up to Sheffield, didn't show up to Worlds, I think I know what I'm capable of and I would continue to push myself now. But I don't think I would have ever started pushing myself the way I do if it weren't for her.
How about those victories when you do win? um, Probably tastes a little sweeter when you know she's there because there'll be times when you don't and she wins.
Yep.
To your point, like when you can have an off day, you're going to lose, and you've said that. You're like, I've had an off day and I've lost, and she's won. She's had an off day and she'll lose. I win. If you can have an off day and still win, it's not going to quite feel the same. I'm assuming it's
No.
still a big accomplishment if it's worlds, but how much different is it to have that?
I mean, it's like World Games. We were all pushed to the limits, like back-to-back competitions, and I had arguably one of my worst performances and came away with the win, but I felt no pride in it because I was like, that was not good. That was not good. Like we
Really,
have higher
you felt no,
standards, yeah.
you felt what was it about? What was it about it that you didn't have pride?
Like I just training had been okay, but I was super burnt out by the time I got to China. I just like didn't really want to be there. It was a super, super cool experience, but I was honestly, Ryan, I was ready to retire from powerlifting. Like that's where I
Holy
was.
shit!
Yeah, and had lots of conversations about it because I was so overcooked. I was like, I'm done. This is it. I'll just finish World Games and be done. But so yeah, like walking away being like, this could be my last performance, and it was just not great. I didn't PR anything. My squat was like 287 at RPE 11. Like, what the hell was that? I hit 290 2 weeks before in the gym and it flew. So it's like, what is
Mm.
happening? So I don't know, missed a bench, missed my third deadlift, passed out on it, which I've never done before. It was just like this is just a mess all over the place. Because I'm like notorious for going 8 for 8 or 8 for 9, 9 for 9, and that performance was not it.
And was it the performance itself that had you feeling like you might step away, or was it? Look, I was on the verge, then the performance tipped me over, and I'm like, all right, like were you seriously considering packing it in, or was it just fatigue in the moment where it's back to back to back too much?
So, to give you perspective, I am currently registered for Canadian Nationals doing classic bench only, equipped three lift, and classic three lift because I'm not done with powerlifting forever, but I thought I was done with classic up until this prep. I thought after national or after Sheffield, I had committed to that, but I was like, I don't know what path I'll take after that.
Why? Why? What's going on? We can't lose you. What are you doing?
I know, and that's what I was chatting with people like Bryce. He's been asking every week, like, how are we feeling this week? How are we feeling this week? Because, like, obviously, he's in my corner no matter what. But for the first time in I'd say 2 or 3 years, I'm actually enjoying this prep and I'm enjoying
Sweet.
classic lifting again. So I'm like, I think we'll stay the course. But for a minute there, it got pretty sketchy. Like, I was dabbling in some equipment and I'll get
Mm.
into a little bit of equipment after Sheffield. I'll try out a bench shirt for nationals, but we're gonna open doors and we'll make a decision after Sheffield. But yeah, I'm still leaning staying classic.
What was it about the equipment that intrigues you? Just like some a new skill to try to master, or?
Yeah, something different, honestly, and it's freaking hard. Like the
Mhm.
little bits I've dabbled with it, it is hard and it is very, very different. And it was just something because I love powerlifting still, and I'm not ready to walk away from it entirely, but it just is a new set of challenges. It's something else to keep it exciting. We did a lot of experimental stuff when I was super burnt out. Like I tried pulling sumo for a while because I was like, I can't keep doing the same three lifts. Like it's been almost 10 years. But now I'm like, yes, let's do these same three lifts again and again and again.
Was it the monotony then that was getting to you?
I think just everything. I was just burnt out. Like the battles with Sunita are great, but that pressure really, really cracks you. And then
Mm.
just like the never ending internet harassment that you're well aware of. Really does take its toll still. And it's hard. Every time you perform well, it's hard, and it's hard to keep pushing through that. And at some point I know I'm gonna have to put myself first, but right now I'm in a position where I can keep going out on that limb and taking the harassment and dealing with the negativity, but there will be a day where I'm not strong enough to do that.
It's I know you mean it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Because you are your star is shining so bright. You're literally winning worlds, battles at Sheffield, world games. But then on the flip side, it's going to draw attention. Morons online are freaking heartless. Um, is the tough thing is, so I know what you mean when you say like put yourself first to protect yourself from this. On the
Yeah.
flip side, if you lost this, would that hurt though? Do you think you'll miss it when you walk away from it?
I don't I don't know. It's really hard to say because I would never walk away in its entirety. I would
Mm,
find some way to do powerlifting, like dabbling in equipment or still like being a part of the sport, but pulling back, like going to Commonwealths or NAPFs or something, like lower level competitions, or just like, go to Worlds, but don't expect to win, like cut some body weight, feel better.
mm. Were you surprised that Natalie stepped away when you read that?
No, we had chatted many times about it before, and she had said, like, this is my last world, so it wasn't shocking. And she's like, I think I'm gonna try out strongman, like win some money, have some fun, do something different. So it wasn't super surprising to me, but obviously, like, it hurts when the day comes because
Mm,
she's an incredible lifter, incredible person, and she's become a really good friend of mine, and nothing's gonna change that. But now we won't see each other at Worlds or at World Games, and that's always a bummer. But yeah, I'm
mhm.
super happy for her and really proud of her for recognizing that and making the decision that she needed to make for herself and for her family.
Yeah. It's tough. Like she was such a her deadlift was incredible. When she pulled, was it 322 and it left the floor up to her
Yeah,
knees
it left the
by
floor.
accident. She didn't know they loaded 322 probably for the best. And she
Yeah,
just walked up to it like it was like 30 kilos less because she thought it was. And they
yeah,
loaded 322 and she got it up to her knees. And that's when like ignorance is bliss. She had no idea how crazy that
yeah.
was.
She's like, "Whoa, that's the heaviest I've ever felt."
Yeah. She was like, why the hell did that feel so heavy? Because it's 322. That's why.
Yeah.
It was insane. It's a shame. Whatever. She's obviously doing something with her life, so God bless. But yeah, it's tough to see some people go. It's tough.
Yeah, but that's
And
the nature of the sport.
yeah,
People come, people go.
I know. Like you get me sad talking like this, by the way. But it's true. Like I've been around doing this since 2016, commentating, and I've seen a lot of different battles and I've seen eras. And it's true. Like people do come and people go. It's freaking still makes it tough. Here's the thing: for every door that closes, another one opens. So for everyone who leaves, someone else comes in, and you
Yeah.
don't know what you're gonna get when they come in, and it's freaking fantastic. And you fall in love with their stories and the battles that come, and it's okay. It makes you sad to think like this particular era that you're used to might come to a close. Like when I think of like certain people that filled up a specific era for me, and you're like, oh, some of these people might not be the contenders for podiums at Worlds or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's tough. There's a piece of you that it makes you sad, like to recognize that, but then new eras start. It's exciting. It's refreshing. You're like, oh, like previously there's the Bonica era, and now you guys, it's way more entertaining and exciting. And yeah, at some point you guys are gonna it'll come to a close at some point. It's inevitable. Athletic
Yeah.
primes come to an end. And you're like, God, I hope it continues, like something lives up.
And like, I mean, realistically, like, I turned 35 this year. Like, I'm not far off from masters. Like, comes a time where my body's gonna stop making progress like it makes progress. And especially with the younger 84 plus athletes that are coming into the scene, like, I'll get my ass kicked one day and it'll be a great day for it because it's so cool to see that. But like, that's just the reality of it. Your body can only take so much. Like I'm coming up, April will be 10 years since my first competition, and yeah, you can push your body hard, but not forever.
Yeah. Is there anything that you need to? Obviously, you got 300 on the squat, which is nice. Is there some things you want to do before that happens, before this all comes to a close?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to take the bench world record at some point. Because then I will have held all four world records at some point, which would be really cool.
Mm.
300 kilo deadlift.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Yep,
getting close.
yep.
When you check these boxes, do you think, once you start checking these boxes, do you think that will make your exit come even quicker then? If you're like, okay, why am I sticking around if I'm because you've done from Sheffield to World Games to World Championships to Commonwealth Games to like you've almost, is there any actual championship titles or whatnot that you need?
No, nothing. I don't think anything's actually going to make it feel better. Like it's just going to suck the day I have to make that call, but I'll know when
Yeah,
the time is right. And I thought it was, but I was like, I'll hold out. I committed to this. And now I'm like, oh, like refreshed, revigorated, excited about it again, enjoying training. Because I've always said the day I stop enjoying it is the day I'm out. And I'm back to enjoying it. I'm not burnt out. It was just a lot of really big battles back to back to back. And that took its toll mentally and physically. But I don't know that checking those boxes will make it easier because there's always the next box to be checked, right?
yeah.
Like before, it was like, oh, I just need to squat 275. Like that'll look so nice on the bar. Now it's like, okay, that came in wet. And then today I squatted 300 and expected it to feel really great and like life changing in a way. And I'm like, okay, what's next?
Okay, so that's what nobody tells you is it'll always be that. You'll need
Yeah.
something when you leave, or else you'll feel like a void. Look, you're freaking strongest woman in the world. Like it's pretty cool. And then when that comes to a close and everything's come to a close, that's fine. And no one will ever be able to take that away from you. It happened. You're part of history. However, that's a big void. So you're gonna want something. Do you think like you'll just lean into coaching or lean into how do you think you'll fill that void?
No, I hate coaching. I don't like people enough to do that. Um,
Fair enough.
I think I'll keep lifting just at lower levels. Just withdraw myself from the big battles. I'll cut some weight again because like I don't enjoy walking around at this body weight, but it's kind of where I have to sit to be my most competitive.
Mm,
So cut a little bit of body weight, which my lifts will take a hit when that happens, and that's okay.
mhm.
And then just enjoy lifting, just compete, push myself, keep doing that.
Are you paying attention much to the other competitors going to this Sheffield?
Not really. I've always kind of just stayed in my own lane, which works well for me. I've seen big things like the 47s are popping off right now, which is incredible to see. It's
Yeah.
so cool. So I'm really excited to see that. But like when I'm actually at Sheffield and in it, I have no idea what's going on. But to sit and watch it back, I'm very excited. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because like I have my friends that I watch their lifting that will be at Sheffield and keep track of them, but I'm not like on the scout, like, oh, who's hitting what in training. Like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No, 100% the 47s are going wild. Here's what Turbo Tiff, 4 years in a row, as well, not like 4 years at Worlds, but here he had never lost. Never lost on the come up, never lost at any point in her career ever until Germany at that Worlds when Heather handed her her first loss. After that, 450, 450. You know, she's like crushing these huge totals. But here's something that we just recorded earlier today, a podcast discussing like the preview show. It's a
Mhm.
preview show for Sheffield, and we're discussing how battles can impact how people feel at the event. And you would be a good person to talk about this. So essentially, a lot of people say if there's somebody there in the room that you're going to be battling, some people don't fully get it because it's not like basketball where you're going to take the ball off them, or boxing or MMA more prudent on the nose where you actually take their will. it's you all have 60 seconds on the platform. So how would that matter if someone's there or not? But it does because when someone's there and you feel that pressure and they're in the warm-up room with you and you know it's a head-to-head, what you'll notice sometimes is people will be thrown off the game. They'll be more aggressive on their second attempts and then be grinding seconds. They're overextending on thirds. The all indications would have been you went too heavy on your second because that person's there. You're trying to force numbers that aren't there. You're grinding. People watch it and see it. You ought to back down on the third. You didn't. You grind that third. You missed your third. Now you missed your third bench, and the likelihood of missing your third deadlift now go way up the odds. And this happens when someone else is there. You don't want to back down. You can't. You need these kilos, and people act differently and do different attempt selections when someone else is there. It's a fact. And Matt Gary always says on these preview shows, the person who goes 9 for 9 and doesn't get pulled out of the game is usually the one that wins.
Mhm.
That's why I'm not surprised to hear about you show up at Sheffield, you put the blinders on, you just do your thing. But we see this sometimes. How much is that like a factor that you've noticed as well? That sometimes, like Heather straight up said, talking about the 47s, Heather said when she won, I think Turbo Tiff was stronger than me today. I think if she did different attempt selections, she would have beat me. But
Yeah.
that's not the way it rolled out.
Um, this might be like a little bit of a petty comment, but I think you need better game day coaches in your corner if those are the mistakes you're making on meet day. If your coach isn't able to recognize that you need to pull back or you need to stay in the pocket for something, I think you need to find a different meet day coach.
And I mean, Bryce is going to be your meet day coach, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, and how
difficult.
many times, Ryan, have I had to stay in the pocket knowing I'm going into bench, I'm going into deadlift, and I am 20 kilos behind?
Really.
Every meet, every meet. I know it's just you have to make three squats, period. It doesn't necessarily matter the number. You have to make three squats, period.
And how much of that do you think is like the communication between the athlete and the coach? And because sometimes athletes can, I don't know, it's tough, I guess. Sometimes athletes can BS you or sell you a story like, I got this loaded. And you're like, as the coach, you're like,
No,
fuck. It's
no,
tough, right?
I don't know, but I'm not that athlete. I'm never like, I can do this. I'm like, you
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
me
yeah.
I can do this and I'll do it. Like my prime example is my third squat at Worlds in Germany. You had even said on the live stream, oh, she'll probably take another five, and we went 10. Bryce told me it was 100% make. That fucking squat was like maybe a 50% make. And I went and I grinded my face off for it. But because he had told me this is 100% make, and I knew I couldn't afford to miss a squat, I was standing up with it.
What does that feel like when it's that, when you know it's 50-50? He's like, you 100% got this. You're like, yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, he said
That's,
it, so I believed it. And then
yeah.
watching back my second, I was like, "Ooh, brother, that was not 100% make. Like 10 kilos was a big jump on based on how my second moved, but that's okay."
I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. I know it's, and I think sometimes if there is inconsistency on some lifters' meet day, it's because sometimes people got like bigger lifts in the gym and they don't always come forth on the day, but they think it's there. The coach, as well as the athlete, might think it's there. And then if
Yeah,
it's a semi rough second attempt, you might be like, what was that? Are you all right? And you're, as the coach, you might have seen him do more. So you're like, I got you for more. Do you got more? And the athlete's probably like, yeah, I think I do. But that's where it might be difficult. Um,
yeah.
I don't know.
But I think that's where you have to let go of your ego and be honest with yourself because it's better to make than it is to overextend by 2 kilos and miss out on seven if
Yeah.
that's what we're going with. And I think, yeah, it comes down to both the coach and the athlete. But obviously, like we're human, we're all gonna make mistakes, we're all gonna miss lifts at some point. But being honest with yourself and your coach being honest with you, I think is really, really important. And obviously there are times where you just gotta load it up and pray for the best. But I think generally speaking, like it takes letting go of your ego and being like, nah, I don't know if I have more. Like, I don't know today.
Mm, that's where it really helps that your coach understands you and knows you well.
Yeah.
That's the one piece that's difficult when you go to the world championships for some nations anyways, if you don't have
Yes.
your personal coach there.
Yeah, because I know like our Team Canada coach is Garrett Bentley, and he's with me at Sheffield too. He's always with me. He's one of my best friends. He knows me inside out too. So I definitely have that in my back pocket, and I'm very, very fortunate for that.
He's good. He's real good. We're lucky we got him. Another guy
Yeah.
that we've had now as our president is Jeff Butt. And I could tell you, Jeff literally walked me off of I've 12 years, I'm retired now, but 12 years I never once bombed. And I swear to God, I came so close to bombing and Jeff was handling me that day. And he made it so he literally drove that car and somehow got us through there and I didn't bomb. And we had I mean, the wheels were falling off. And if you got a good handler, like I remember at one point, I don't know what the hell was going on, Britt, but he was like, "How much do you think you got for this final pull?" And I was like, "God, Jeff, I don't know, man. This is crazy. I can't believe I got this far." And just navigated me through this. And I'm like 5 kilos. He goes, 5 kilos. We're moving up in deadlift. No one moves up deadlift 5 kilos. And he's like, I'm putting you on 10. And I go, 10, Jeff, I don't got 10. I don't got 10. I know. I don't know what the hell's happened to me today. It's five. He's like, nobody goes up 5 kilos. I'm putting you up 10. And I said, how about 7.5? He closed his book and said, 7.5, you hit. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta hit 7.5. And
We
I
got to
hit
do
that.
it now.
I said, yeah, I know. It's like he negotiated with me. I said the number that he want. Afterwards, he was like, I was never loading 10 kilos, but I needed
Yeah.
it to be your idea for 7.5.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had to say it first. We would have went back and forth. So he was waiting for me to say 7.5. And then he closed it like, that's it. It's 7.5, just like you said. But you better hit it. And like, it fucking worked too. I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
better, I
I
better
can
hit this.
do this. Jeff
Yeah.
Butt believes in me. Yeah,
I'm like,
Jeff coached me in my first world championship title, and he's handled me at nationals before. Good
he's
guy.
good. He's good. He's been around the block. I mean, he got Jess Bittner to a couple of world titles actually.
Yeah,
He was handling her against Agatha in 2022. If you
yeah,
if you got the right handler, even if they're not your personal handler, a good thing with handling is being able to read people, knowing the game for sure, knowing all the rules. With Jeff has been around for decades. Blah blah. He's like the president. This is when I first came into powerlifting in 2008. He was the president. So and he's back to being president in 2025 2026. Like this guy is had he's been all over the place.
yep,
So you want someone who knows all the rules and whatnot, but somebody's got to be able to read you, like read people, if not.
yep,
But I'm pretty big on having a personal coach back there. But some people don't like that. So like
yeah,
some nations don't like personal coaches being involved.
yep. That's fair. And I mean, there's certifications now that they have to do. Like, I know Bryce had to jump through some hoops. I think technically Garrett Bentley is my head coach for Sheffield, but we'll see. Because he has the international certification for coaching.
Mm.
So yeah,
I mean, I get both though. Put it this way, I say that I'm big for having personal coaches, but actually, I can see where it could be a detriment if you're a national team coach and you got like 15 freaking people back there
yeah, yeah,
because you
for
got
sure.
and some of these people, I know people who are excellent programmers who still don't know how to handle properly, or
Yeah,
or at the very least, maybe that's too harsh. They don't know how to handle like a Matt Gary, Bryce, Garrett, Jeff, or whatever the have you. They don't know how to handle at that level. And but they because they're the personal coach and they're back there, they will be offering input and you need one clear path and vision. You can't have three different like when Jeff was having that conversation with me, can you imagine a third party in that conversation be like,
well,
well, I
I
mean,
think you should. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And
You don't need that.
Jeff would be like, hey, fucko, I just want the kid to say 7.5. I'm doing this on purpose. I got a vision.
Yeah,
Don't jump in. Don't jump. Even if you said 7.5 yourself, no, I want him to say it. Let him say it. Let him buy in. I need his buy-in. Like even those little intricacies are sometimes like it's too many people. So I actually get I'm not sure which way's best now. I think I talked myself out of it, but
Yeah, I know you can argue for it both ways, but again, like when Garrett is my head coach, Garrett is my head coach, and Bryce respects that and he respects his authority, his position. Luckily, they agree on things 99% of the time because we don't like when mom and dad fight, but
that's
it
right.
happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's freaking. That's another thing. It's sports. People get passionate.
Yep.
Like in every sport, every now and then you'll see a coach losing it on the sidelines, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. You got to do these things. But both those guys have been in so many battles. Is it excitement for you when you think about Sheffield in front of like 2,500 people all over again, or what about the stadium Sheffield? Does that entice you to stick around to experience that?
Um, I have a really hard time with Sheffield. It's very, very intimidating to me, and a lot of people love the hype and the atmosphere. I find it very scary and overwhelming. So the thought of a bigger Sheffield is really exciting for the prospect of the sport, but it scares me a lot. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's cool to be part of history. It's cool to go along and be a part of that, but yeah, it's terrifying, right?
I don't like look like I get it. In part of this is like a challenge of like, can I do this? Can I overcome this? That's like freaking life, isn't it? It's just having
Yeah,
challenges to be like, I'm scared. Look, it's just put this conversation when you were like, yeah, I'm out of my comfort zone. This isn't my usual thing, but I'm going to do it. Like just
yeah.
sometimes not giving into it makes it like I don't know. There's something to be said for that. Just like, no, that's what life is. It's challenge. I have to do it. I know I'm afraid. I'm going to do it anyways.
But also qualifying for Sheffield is getting immensely harder now. So
Mm.
there's also the am I going to qualify? Are we going to make it this year? Because going into Worlds in Germany, that was my primary goal was whatever happened on the day, I wanted to qualify for Sheffield, whether that meant walking away with the world title or walking away with a secondary spot based on the highest good lift points of the second place finisher. But I
Mm.
wanted to qualify for Sheffield, even though it is terrifying and I really, really struggle through them. It's an experience unlike anything else, and I want to be a part of it.
Isn't that interesting? And is part of it being scary, walking that line, finishing the day and doing it, is that part of the satisfaction as well?
I think so because when I went to my first Sheffield, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never, ever, ever doing this again.
Really?
And then I got through it, and I was like, damn, I can't wait to be back here.
No kidding. What like was it before and during you're saying that I don't want to be here, and then afterwards you're like, all right, fuck it, that was pretty. You're at the banquet, chilled in, you're like, all right, let's be honest, that was pretty cool. Like, what was the flip, and why was it that you didn't want to be there?
I think the lead up, like it just felt like so much pressure, and I don't like pressure, even though I apparently thrive in pressure.
Mm,
Yeah, I just felt like so much. It was like you have to push, you have to overperform, you have to do everything you can. And after doing my second Sheffield, I was like, oh, it's just another meet. Like obviously it's different and it's big, but it's another meet and just perform what you can on the day. You don't have to like try to kill yourself during training because that's not how I thrive. And it made me feel like that's how I had to train. And it
mm,
didn't work for me. But yeah, I think the flip was like, holy shit, like we made it through this big terrifying thing, and that is a huge sense of satisfaction.
mm-hmm. It's not difficult when you achieve it. It doesn't have the same. Like if you haven't really tested yourself, if you've ever taken something on, you're like you're scared. You're like, "Oh, I'm scared shitless. This actually keeps me up some nights. And
Yeah.
you take it on. On the flip side, there are people in life that never confront that. They
Yeah.
always stay in their comfort zone. And they can go through they could be like in their 40s looking back, be like, yeah, I stayed in my comfort zone throughout. And the things that you've done, you were on CBS, Eurosport, battling for world titles, Sheffield, World Games, like the things that you have done, you know, if you stayed in your comfort zone, you would have missed all of that.
Yeah, for
Sometimes
sure.
it is that realization, like this is bigger. I'm gonna be grateful I did this. I'll be grateful. You led a life you could write a book on.
Yeah, and I remember the distinct moment. I was like, I have a decision to make, and it's not a comfort one. It's you're either continuing to do this and stepping so far outside of your comfort zone, or you're gonna not succeed to the level you are. And I remember the decision. It's like part of powerlifting when you get to this level is you have a voice, you have an opinion, and like it's important to use it. And that was really, really scary for me because that was way beyond my comfort zone. But I'm like, people are gonna talk anyway, so you might as well have something worth talking about.
Mm. I mean, imagine the shame it would be for you personally, never knowing that you could be the strongest woman in the world.
Yeah,
Can you like you just have to walk through that. It's I think a lot of people just assume when they see you and how strong you are. I think that's probably like a lot of lifters just assume they don't know it's not always easy. It gets tough. People get nervous. People feel pressure. There's a yin and a yang to it all, upsides and downsides to it all. And they don't necessarily know when you're out there, unless
yeah,
you come on a podcast like this and say it. But I think for some people that are feeling this and then they tell themselves, "I'm just not built like that." I guess no,
yeah,
no. That old story of the coward and the hero. They both feel the same. They feel the exact same, but the hero does it anyways. The coward stops with how they felt.
yeah.
That's the difference. That's all.
And I think that's why I feel like it's so important to talk about because I struggle with that. Like when I went on Rack That Squat today, I was actually shaking. I was so scared. And my opening squat at Sheffield last year, everyone's like, "You look so confident out there." I was like, I was literally crying when I took it. And I was so scared that I blacked out and I don't remember. I walked off the platform and Bryce was like, "Oh, how'd that feel?" I'm like, I literally do not remember that squat.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's just the way my brain works. It's like that was traumatic. We're just gonna delete that. And I'm
You
like,
go into the
okay,
go into the
great.
hard drive, delete those
Yeah.
files.
Yeah, it's like, well, copy, delete. Great.
Was what was the stress about for the Sheffield you said that was so difficult? What
I
was that
was,
centered around?
I don't know, last year I showed up to Sheffield, like went through the movement, like we're there, we're doing all the athlete interviews, everything leading up to it. I was totally cool, calm, collected. It was the most confident I felt going into a meet thus far. And then I walked to the door to enter on meet day and just started like hyperventilating, could not calm down, was just crying, panicking. Like Bryce is sitting there coaching me through breathing. I cried through equipment check, cried through weigh in, cried through squat warm ups. Like I just could not calm down. My anxiety was just
Really?
off the charts. Yeah.
So I didn't I don't think I was oh well, I mean obviously I was nowhere near those points. I was over on the media side. But
Yeah.
you still perform though.
Yeah, like it's to give you a conception, I went up to Chell at banquet and I was like, "Hey, congrats on your huge performance." He's like, "Thanks, you were very emotional." I was like, "Yes, yes, I was. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry you had to see that."
The thing is, I mean, I remember 2021 Worlds, you telling me you had a full blown anxiety attack warming up for squats.
Yeah,
You still won. Like it, they, when they say there's no courage in the absence of fear, because if there's no fear, then there's not, it's not courageous, obviously,
yeah,
by definition. And the fact, like in a lot of ways, when you can have a full blown anxiety attack and have full blown anxiety to the point that you feel anxiety. For those that haven't heard the previous podcast, this is something that you've been open with, that you've dealt with, is anxiety attacks, and they can come out of the blue, out of nowhere. But the fact that you can full on have that and still throw on your belt, put on your wrist wraps, and walk out there onto the Sheffield platform and go and rumble and right to the very last pull. Like you're not bombing out. Your hit rate is like 8.2. We did it for the preview show earlier. Your hit rate
yeah.
is insane. And this isn't new. This has been going on for years. And like 500,000 people are going to watch these Sheffields. And you're like, and you can have a full blown anxiety attack. For some people, this is a nightmare. Like public speaking, you're not speaking, but you're still in massive public for everyone to see. And you will grit your teeth and gut your way through it. And it's not just a little anxious, it's a fucking anxiety attack for anyone who's ever had that feeling where it's like impending doom and it's like that. It's emotional, it's whatever. And you'll still finish that day and battle right to the very end and press Sonita and be like, we're not backing down. You're going over 700, you did like 710 kilos, and that's a bad day for you. Like it is admirable. It is admirable. And that's why I like it when you do these podcasts and talk about it. Some people don't know. Some people deal with all types of shit. And if they hear, like,
Mhm.
no, I deal with that too. I just don't back down.
Yeah.
I just don't let it dictate my life where I'm not going to do these things.
Yeah, it comes back to representation and just like letting people know that you can experience these things and not draw limits on yourself. It's hard, it's scary, it sucks sometimes, but you're still capable of more than you realize.
Alba said last year. So Alba did a phenomenal Worlds. Obviously, won the world title with Meg
Mhm,
Chiara, and she had a really bad Sheffield experience last Sheffield. She said, and I had brought up to her, I was like, Meg, since losing at Worlds, she was the world champ, defending world champ, lost her title, ended up in bronze medal. Very unhappy with her performance. And Meg was like, I need that redemption arc, that revenge arc, that redemption arc. I'm coming in hot. And she's Meg, an amazing story. In her late 30s now, coming back, twins, the whole nine. You probably already know the whole story, but phenomenal
mhm.
how quickly she came back and just ascended, took the throne, and she's still at it, kicking ass, taking names. But Alba came on the podcast and was like, I also have a redemption story. I didn't like my last Sheffield. I get it. She lost worlds and she's trying to come back from that. But I have a bad taste in my mouth from this Sheffield. I want a proper taste in my mouth after this. Like I want to feel Sheffield experience it for all it's worth. Do you do you feel like some do you resemble that as well? Where you're like, listen, I think I can have a good Sheffield experience because you're obviously your lifts are going phenomenal. Is this kind of what you're looking for as well? To experience Sheffield in a different light?
Mm, I don't think it matters. If I were doing a local meet in 13 days, I think I would feel the exact same. I just need to do this for me.
Mm.
And I've been the underdog for long enough. I think I don't know. We're gonna make a little bit of a statement there, Ryan.
You think you're the underdog this time? With you and Sunita, it feels like depends who's hot in training. And there are times when I think it's you. There are times when I think it's her. Right now, and I usually don't make calls on events that I commentate, so I won't pick a winner.
Yeah.
But I'll say if I was saying underdog based off what we're seeing and off the preview show I just listened to, I think you aren't the underdog going into this. But what do you think?
I mean, it depends who you ask, right? Like, if you look at how things are going, like Sunita hasn't posted much training. Like, who knows where she is at? My training's been really good. I don't think that I'm the underdog coming in, but I think a lot of people in this world, like Sonita has a lot of big, loud fans, and they tend to outweigh the little fan group I have, which I love them all and I appreciate. But yeah, it always kind of makes me feel like, everyone knows Sonita's incredible. They know she's gonna do well, and I'm just kind of over here, kind of scraping by somehow. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
So I know what you mean. Like Sunita's got a phenomenal story. She's a great storyteller, so it's easy for people to fall in love with her
Yeah.
story and cheer for her. And like, I think there's probably duality where people can cheer for both. You could be happy for one person, sad for the other at the same time. That happens often with myself because I get close to these lifters I've known for years, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, of course.
happy. Yeah. But in terms of favorite, it's well, put it this way, do you think it's easier to operate as the underdog sometimes? Does that alleviate pressure?
Um, I think it did at first, but then coming into Germany, like I was really far behind the world record total. Like I was really far, and I knew I had to be within 95%. and then the 47s went. And I knew if I wanted to qualify for Sheffield, I had to be over 101% of the world record total, win or lose. So it's kind of like that's not a good position you want to find yourself in as the underdog, because then you have to claw your way back up. But yeah, being on top is hard too. I think they both have their pros, they both have their cons.
Hmm. And I mean, it's interesting that Sheffield is what it is, the way you described it and your experience with it. And yet still you were like, I have to get back there.
Yeah, like honestly, there just aren't words to explain what the Sheffield experience is like and what it means. Nothing can really make you understand that feeling other than being there.
It's like that song that I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy, huh? But it is. Um, on the, how far do you think you could push the total?
I mean, we'll find out
Not
in
just
13
Sheffield.
days.
No, no, well, oh shit. Well, that's a good answer. But I was meaning not just Sheffield, but period. How far do you think you could push this? I'm asking because the untested world record is 659 or 759. And I'm wondering if it's possible for someone in the IPF. You know how Jesus Oliveira is the apex predator because
Yeah,
he's tested A and untested. He's got the highest total. Can
yeah,
can you guys, either you or Sonita or both, push yourselves to become the apex predator and take both like Jesus did?
yeah, we'll do it. Both of us will do it
Amazing. Amazing.
for
I
sure.
love it. Hey, good. It's in a couple notes there. In the untested, they got, whippy bars and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
It's not going to be IPF level in terms of the squats and stuff like that. So you guys doing it is a major, major thing. But I mean, there's nothing quite like having that. Is that a goal of yours too that you would like before you hang them up, or it'd be like, okay, I took both.
I mean, if you do the math, I want to squat 300. I want to deadlift 300 at some point. My bench is 162 right now, so there's your there's your number, but let's put them all together on the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that you're excited about also for Sheffield, like rewatching the battle of the 63s, the 57s?
Yeah, I mean, I love watching it back and just seeing what's going on, especially with the men, because you have zero idea. At least the women, you're up there, there's a screen, you can kind of like half watch what's going on, see like who makes who misses, how things are going, but you're down in the warm-up room in the basement when the men are going. So it's there are gonna be a lot of sick battles over there too. So that'll be fun to watch back. So I usually just download it and watch it on the plane ride home.
What do you think about the battle of the 93s?
I think it's going to be incredible. I hope it lives up to everything it can be, and I think it will, knowing those lifters.
Could you make a prediction or no?
No, come on, you know I'm too politically correct for all this stuff.
I know.
I
This is
already
what I
shit
was.
on game day coaches.
This is what I was trying to wrangle out of you, and you were stealthily avoiding. But it's true. It is kind of cool having a guy like Russ um, back at Sheffield and moving up a weight class and having like a second. I don't know. This isn't even a second chapter. This would be a second book for him. He's been around for a hot minute. What do you
Hmm.
do? You like? Does it mean something for you to be seeing people like that, like Russ, Meg? Because Meg also, her first Worlds was 2019.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
a huge Meg fan. I love
are
Meg.
you? Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited for her, and I can't wait to see what she puts together because I think she's been cooking something big if the SBD Austin meet was any indication.
And she's PRing bodyweight PRs now. She was posting today. Like she's
Yeah.
on fire. And if she goes to Worlds as a 69, if she podiums, she'll have podiumed at the World Championships in three different weight classes.
Yeah, which
In
is
the
incredible.
incredible. Over the span of like 2019 to 2026 right there. And I mean, she could keep going too. Like it is nuts how what Meg's doing. She's a legend. I love like some of these people. Like I love a story like Russ and Meg, that have been around at the top for like so long and refusing to wilt, despite the fact that in our sport there's always a young gun that comes out of nowhere, like and I get to shit go. That's like, oh, okay, well, just makes you rethink everything you thought you knew. Um, but then on top of that, I also love a story like Jurin's, who somebody that was in the background at Worlds, he was like 13th, he was like 7th, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
bam, first. And he's in all of these battles late stage in life. He also on the wrong side of 35 and is doing all
yeah,
these things. Like I love a good story like that. Like it's never too late. Like that person who's been perennially never in the conversation of medal or podium, and they're deep into the 30s, and it's like, well, you probably are what you are now. Whatever
yeah.
you are now, it's probably is what you're ever going to be. And for a story like Jurin's, like, no, no, maybe I'm a
He
late bloomer.
refused to accept it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Jurin's
kept
actually
pushing.
earlier was like, I don't know what I feel about this age thing. He's like, I mean, he was. It was just a couple of years ago. He just crossed into 800 kilos, and now he did 872 and a half at World Games. And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm 36, 37, whatever. Look at Meg. Like they are not. He's like, I don't know if these 22-year-olds are outpacing me. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not sure. Powerlifting's crazy. You see a lot of weird things.
yeah, for sure you do. But yeah, it's cool. Everyone has their own story, and they're all really, really interesting, really cool paths that we've all taken to get here.
That's why I like this podcast where I bring people on, because everybody's a stitch different. And when you bring as many people on as I have, that's when listeners are going to hear me like, I relate to this guy. I relate to that girl. I blah, blah, blah. Because
Hmm.
somebody's got, we'll find you something. Who was you? Did you have someone when you were coming up where you're like, I relate to this?
I don't think I knew anything about powerlifting when I was coming up. Like I knew who Benika was, but I didn't know who Benika was. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know, man. Like I didn't know. I just found inspiration in the people around me and like, all right, let's go.
yeah. You were a bit of a different era too. Like when you were
Yeah.
coming up, you were already arrived when like social media and the podcasting and people's stories really started getting out there kind of when you already had arrived, not really on your way up.
Yeah, because like my first world's also 2019. 2019? Yeah,
Yeah.
2019. Um, yeah, it was kind of all there.
Did you ever think like 2019 that you'd be in a position like you are now?
I had delusional thoughts that I could be there and just kind of kept chipping away at them. Because I mean, I placed second at my first Worlds,
Yeah.
but like it was a different world back then. Like it is not the same worlds we know today. I don't even know what I totaled, but it was like, I don't know, so much less than it
It
was
was
now.
it was in the 500s. Like it was yeah, it was somewhere. It's still strong obviously, but not
Yeah.
even close to what we're seeing now from you ladies in the 84 pluses. Like you guys have definitely leveled up the game.
Yeah, like it's wild. I went back and looked right before this. I was like, what was like my first squat at my first meet? It was 160 kilos. Like that's 140 kilos, man. That's 140 kilos in
Yeah.
10 years.
That's some good progress right there. That's some good progress. Is it? I don't know if you'll be able to answer this because you might be too humble, but is you and Sonita the best rivalry from our generation? This era happening right now?
I think
It's got to
we
be
we
in.
have we have been for a minute. I think the 47 battle will hopefully crack that wide open too. Um, but yeah, I think the 84 plus battle has been huge the last few years because
But
it just
sports,
has been so back and forth.
it's crazy. Sports need like certain sports. You've had those right. They literally have sports documentary series like ESPN 30 for 30 where they just go through rivalries of different eras of different sports constantly. You and Sunita are one of them. And the fact that you'll have like your individual years It feels like Sonita in 2024 took Euros, took Worlds, in the beginning of
Yeah,
2025, which she did at Sheffield. Like you
Sheffield.
guys would have like she went on one, like phenomenal. Like Euro Sports doing stories on her, millions of people are watching, massive, and then you come on one. And it becomes like this back and forth. And you had the previous year, obviously 2023, and like the fact that the tilts back and forth were now Britt's got the helm of it. Now Britt's in charge. Okay, so Nita came back, and it's this. You need that. You need to fully have taken back over for it to actually be a rivalry. A rivalry. It can't be one way. Um,
Yeah,
and that's what made you guys special. I honestly believe, like coming in, even if like for instance, right now she's not showing her lifts, and you're showing your lifts, and they're big, like you're PRing. So I think the momentum is if people are going to have $1 million on the table, there might be some more bets your way because of even that. But maybe she's keeping her cards to her chest. I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
I
however,
wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised, man. Like I don't sleep on Sonita ever. Ever, ever, ever.
no,
I've learned you do not sleep on Sonita Muluh.
and here's another thing. If you ask her, there's always, and I think she believes it, but there's always some adversity she's overcoming in training. There's always some small, not crazy injuries, but there's something. I remember Rory, he actually said that on the podcast preview show where he's like, man, I'm not checking in on Sunita anymore because there's always something, but she has some phenomenal days. And I believe
Yeah.
it. Like I believe she's going through it, but she could find a gear when she has to. So
Yeah, she absolutely can. So I know better than to sleep on that. And like my training's been good and I have no issues sharing it because it's like I don't know, nothing like I squatted 300 today, but like that's 5 kilos off my best. It's not like I just put up 30 kilo PR. Like it's
mm,
nothing wild.
yeah, she's not going to change her game plan based off of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not revealing too much. Alba actually said she doesn't show her training, but it's not a strategic thing for the opposition not to know where she's at. It's more just pressure. She doesn't necessarily want pressure for numbers or, you know, sometimes she listens to podcast preview shows. Do you listen? And sometimes she purposely doesn't because she doesn't want pressure. Do you listen to them? Or are you like, nah, I don't want to hear that?
No, I'll get like a mini recap from my friends generally, or sometimes if they're like, yeah, it's safe, you should listen, then I'll listen. But no, I don't, I couldn't care less what you guys think, Ryan.
Well done. Because it is like, it could be, it could be motivation either which way. It could be pressure, but it could also be like, I don't know. Sometimes everything's already done anyways. What do you want to hear? What if like an expert you truly like if an Eric Helms who's got a PhD knows how to articulate, or Rory who's actual ref is like, those squats are getting a little high. Somebody in a plane, like if whoever it is that he's saying that about could be like, holy fuck, are my squats high?
Yeah.
It's like, oh
No,
man, I don't know if I
I
needed to
lean
hear
with
that.
Alba. I'm like, yeah, I just think it adds pressure that's unnecessary because it's pressure that I don't need to put on myself, and it's pressure that the people who actually matter in my life don't care about. So it's just noise at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. That's more for the fans, anyways. For
Yeah, of
people who are
course.
interested, yeah. Like the lifters, you know what's up. You got to do your job. You do your job. That podcast isn't going to change nothing. And
Mhm.
yeah. And so yeah, I'm excited. I can't freaking. I just wish that I had a little more influence than Anita. I don't know where she's flying at, but it is what it is, and we're gonna find out in 13 freaking days, and it's gonna be amazing
Yeah,
because I
I'm
know
super excited for it. Super
I
excited to see what she puts up.
in everybody. This is a really stacked
Yes.
Sheffield. There are battles all over the place, like head-to-head battles, which I love. I love seeing records go down, but I like me a good head-to-head battle, and we got several of them, especially on the women's side. The men's 83s are going to go off. In the 105s, I mean, we got some battles on the men's side, but the women's side, between Heather and Tiff, flip a coin. Between the 63s, legit flip a coin. They've all beaten each other. And between
Hmm.
you and Sunita, you've both beaten each other as well. So it's like
Yeah.
freaking, you can't ask for more. We're spoiled.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one to watch for sure.
100%. 100%. Well, listen, Britt, thank you for coming on. Um, thank you for coming out of your comfort zone and doing these things. I know it's not easy. That's why I freaking appreciate the hell out of it when you do. I'll see you at Sheffield. Good luck. You're gonna fly the flag for us, and you'll do us
Yes.
proud no matter what. Just give us 100%. We'll be proud of you no matter what.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. You bet. For everybody listening, please do subscribe. Give us high ratings. And until next time, six pack Lapadat, six up, and we are out.